Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Echo. It looks like we've reached a bit of an important decision in Cole's route, and I'm aware that a couple of the routes in this game do have more than one ending, and there aren't too many decisions on the way of the story. So it looks like we have got to choose. Cole's been affected, kind of like, I don't know if he's being possessed or something like this, but it's kind of affecting his personality, and we need to choose whether we should fight it or whether we should let it help us. And I'm not sure. What do you think? We're going to do both anyway. But yeah, for now, let's fight it. Let's tell Cole that he should stick to his guns. No, whether or not it made Cole feel good, I can't shake the bad feeling it gives me. I rest a hand on his. No, after everything that's happened, I don't trust whatever it is. Cole watches me closely. Seriously, we need to be more careful. Besides, I lean my head against his shoulder again. We are in this together. We don't need that thing meddling with us to get through it. I feel some of the tension go out of Cole's muscles, and we wrap each other more tightly into our respective embraces. We sit there for a while, Carl absorbing what I just said. It's clear that whatever is influencing Cole, and probably Jenna, is powerful, and we had to be careful. Whatever he decides, I just pray it's the right decision. I've got no idea. What is the right decision? Because we're kind of like stuck in this cabin, it's just the four of us. I wake up groggily, my head throbbing a bit from laying it on the stiff pillow. Like the last time I woke up, it takes me a while to realise where I am. And, just like last time, I get a sinking feeling in my stomach when I realise where that is. I lay on my side, staring at the wall in front of me, watching shadows dance along the log bumps. It's depressing, though not as much as last time. At some point I guess I realised that there wasn't much I could do. Just go with it, and hope something comes of it. At least there seems to be a goal in the mind of whatever had control of this. Whatever it was. Suddenly, I feel an arm slide over my hip and I stiffen. Cole breathes into the back of my neck. You okay? I feel the soft warmth of Cole's body press up against my back. It's been a long time since I felt someone spoon me. Thinking about Leo though only makes my stomach knot up even more. Yeah. Cole picks up on it right away. His broad muzzle sneaks over my neck and soon he's pressing his cheek against mine. I can feel him hesitating as he does it, his movements kinda jerky and awkward. I almost laugh, but I have to remind myself that Cole probably hasn't done this before, at least not since high school. Definitely not with a guy at least. A hand slides over my side, close to my crotch. He doesn't go lower though, and keeps it pressed against my body. It feels nice having someone close to me like this. Even though I've given up on trying to understand the situation, I'm still scared about what's happening. I can feel Cole's heart beating hard against my back, and I wonder if he's thinking about the same things. That's when I feel his very hard dick pressing against my ass. Whoa, steady now. Steady now. I almost laugh again. Here I am in a haunted ghost cabin and my childhood friend is grinding up on me. Cole feels me tense up and lifts his hand away from my stomach. Sorry, is this not I roll over abruptly to face him. His green eyes immediately look away from mine and I see red creeping underneath the thin fur of his ear. I decide to go with the same technique I used last night and slide up against his soft body before pressing my lips against his. It seems to break the ice and he immediately responds, pressing his tongue against my lips before I open them to let it in. Cole's surprisingly good at tongue kissing, better than Leo was anyway. It glides over my tongue before flicking against my teeth. I'm momentarily worried about how I haven't brushed for at least 2 days now, but Cole doesn't seem to mind. He hasn't either after all. He wraps his hands around my back, sliding one under my body so that he can wrap me in a full embrace. The feeling of being enveloped in Cole's soft and strong warmth makes my heart skip a beat, and pretty soon I'm just as hard as he is, steady. While his hands toy with my tail, I get to work running my own hands under his shirt, sliding them along his firm belly before pushing his shirt up. Cole tenses and giggles. It tickles. I pause and smirk. I barely touched you. I give his stomach a light prod, and he curls up a bit more, grabbing my wrist. Dude, I think I'm just not used to being touched like I apply both hands this time, running them like spiders up his stomach and chest. Dude, no. He twists and writhes under my hands, desperately trying to stifle his giggles before finally snatching up my hands by the wrist. I'm reminded how strong he is when he easily rolls me to my back, straddling my hips as he pins my hands above my head. Arsehole. Cole's breathing heavily, letting out a little giggle every now and then. Sorry, I've just never seen someone get so... I pause, as I hear some movement from downstairs, followed by what sounds like Raven's voice. I'm reminded of our situation when I see some flakes of blood around Cole's nose and the big splotches on his shirt. Yeah, Jenna kinda got like possessed and beat him up. It was weird. Yeah, I guess we're being a little loud. Yeah, how is your nose? Cole automatically raises a hand to touch his nose. Hurts a bit, but I'm okay. Good. I lay there in silence for a few seconds, feeling like the moment's kind of ruined. I look again at the walls, remembering that we should be looking for something instead of messing around like this. What you looking at? Not sure. Hey, we should be finding something, right? My crotch is starting to get a little uncomfortable under the weight of Cole's body. I mean, didn't the ghost, ancestor, whatever it is, tell you that we needed to find stuff? Cole rubs his nose. Yeah, in the last place we were in at least. I guess it would be the same for this place, right? Unless it was what we already burned up. Yeah. Cole sits there quietly thinking. Well, I think I might try to look downstairs. You want to stay up here and look around? Yeah. I want to get the other two to start looking too. The threat of Jenna hangs heavy in the air, and the way we're both obviously avoiding it makes it all the heavier. What about your ankle? I flex it around, the twinge a lot less sharp now, though the stiffness feels even worse. I think I'm okay. Let me try it out. Okay. Cole sits there for a while longer, then seems to suddenly realise that he needs to get off so I can get up. He scrambles off awkwardly as I sit up and swing my legs over the side of the bed. Pressing my foot to the door, the twinge that runs through my ankle is minuscule. Standing up, I'm able to put some pressure on it before it hurts too much. The problem is that I can't bend the joint at all, leaving me with an obvious and lumbering limp. I think I'm okay. Can I get you down the stairs at least? I warm to the concern in Cole's voice, though I don't really want him and Jenna anywhere near each other, especially after what she might have heard just now. Nah, I want to test it out a bit more. I turn my head to look back at Cole and still see a worried look on his face. I'll call you if I need help, okay? Cole purses his lips. Alright. The trip down the stairs is ponderous and awkward. I'm probably loud too, because when I reach the bottom, I find both Raven and Jenna already staring at me. Hey. Hey. Jenna doesn't say anything, continuing to watch me. We stare at each other awkwardly for a bit before she finally moves her head to look down at my leg. How is the leg? Oh, it's alright. A bit stiff though. I grasp at the opportunity to talk about anything other than what we're obviously avoiding. I think I should be able to walk normally, maybe in a few days. Hopefully in a few days we'll be out of here so you can do that. Yeah. Jenna is definitely not herself right now. Her eyes are vacant, dull, and it's hard to explain, but they lack the mischievous and compassionate look that I'm used to seeing. Her voice is weird too. It's deeper, more husky. We'll be out of here by then. Raven says it with a grin, and he leans back in the chair he's sitting in. Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk to you guys about that. About what? About how to get out of here? And how do we do that? Well, I was thinking that the last time we were able to unlock the door, all we had to do was find a letter. Raven blinks at me. So, find the letter? Or something like that. We just need to find something, I think. We did find something. I look over at Jenna. Huh? I said we did find something. Cole burned it. Oh, well, I don't think Cole burned it. He did. I pause. But there's got to be something else, or maybe whatever's doing this has a way of putting something else here. The others don't say anything. I don't know, but we can't just sit here. Looking around is the least we can do. Where's Cole? Jenna's standing up now, looking at the ceiling. Faintly, I can hear the clopping of Cole's hooves on the soft wood. He's looking around upstairs. Jenna continues to look up at the ceiling, her face stony. Let's start in this room. Raven stands up and starts walking on the wall, looking up and down the logs, prodding at the spaces between. Jenna's still looking up at the ceiling, and I worry that she's going to try to go upstairs. Hey, Jenna, can you help me look around in the kitchen? Jenna looks back at me. What? My ankle still kinda hurts? It'd be nice to be able to lean on someone if I need to walk far, like to the kitchen. Jenna pauses before moving over to my side. She stands there stoically, and I awkwardly wrap an arm around her shoulders. Thanks. Yeah. We amble slowly to the kitchen. Jenna stops in the middle of the room and waits. I guess I'll start with the cabinets. My voice goes up at the end, like I'm asking a question. Jenna doesn't say anything, so I stumble away from her, again awkwardly, before finding support on the wooden pantry. I hesitantly start opening some of the cupboards, feeling a lot less into my idea than I was just a few minutes earlier. Jenna stares out the window. So, you okay? She finally looks back at me, frowning. I'm fine. Why? You're being really, distant. Do you need me to stand next to you? No, I mean, you seem like you're not really here mentally. I'm sorry. I open another pantry door to a set of glass mugs. Is it something to do with Carl? I know that Jenna's going through something similar to what Carl is. I just have no idea what's doing it or why. Something that wants this to go as unsmoothly as possible, clearly. I don't have a problem with Carl. I mean, what you did yesterday? I just have a problem with the way he acts. He could do a lot if he put his mind to it. It takes me a moment to realise that she's talking about what happened before all of this. So you attacked him? What? No, that was something else. I turn around and finally see something familiar about Jenna. Some life in her eyes. Maybe all I have to do is talk about stuff before this whole walk to ghost dimension thingy? I mean, he tries. He just has problems. Shouldn't a psychology major know that? Jenna looks away from me. I guess, but I'm not a therapist. So what? So I don't know. No, I mean, shouldn't anyone have sympathy? I'd have a little more sympathy if he'd actually try and get help. He has, but it's not that easy. Again, I don't feel like I should be explaining this to someone who has 4 years of psychology under her belt. I tried to get help, but I didn't feel better for years. Jenna doesn't say anything. Carl's problems didn't really start until his first year of college. I keep putting open cupboards, my heart sinking a little more each time there's nothing inside. I mean, yeah, he had problems before, but it's only getting worse for him. Well, doesn't matter what I think about Carl right now. We're trying to find a way out of here, and screwing around isn't going to help. Jenna says it in a way that I feel like it was supposed to be pointed. There's little doubt now that she heard us messing around upstairs. I sigh and reach up to pull open the last cabinet. He's not what you think he is. It's so quiet and deep that I'm not sure that it's Jenna that said it. I turn around, but she's already on the other side of the room, standing next to the opposite set of pantries. Did you say something? She doesn't respond, so I stare at her for another few seconds before slowly turning back around. The fur on the back of my neck prickles at the idea of turning my back on her or it. Why did these damn ghosts have to be so subtle and cryptic? If that's what it is, of course. Seemed like James had no trouble telling Carl about the whole clue-finding crap. Why couldn't they just tell him, or even Jenna, right now, instead of just creeping me out? The kitchen isn't very big, so I run out of things to search through pretty quickly. I skip the area around the window, though, not having forgotten what happened yesterday. Yesterday? I don't know how to keep track of time in this place. I look back over at Jenna, who's still in the same place, staring at the pantry. The thought that maybe I myself could be possessed momentarily passes through my mind. For some reason I doubt it, even though I'm not sure why. I don't really feel like I'm of interest to whatever it is that's doing this. At least not directly. As I continue to stare, I see something past Jenna at the base of the stairs. A ram's horn curling out from around the corner to the entrance of the stairs. I stare for a moment. Hey, I'm gonna go upstairs. Jenna's head snaps back sharply to stare at me, and I swear I hear her neck crack. Just to see if he found anything. I'll be back. I awkwardly sidle my way out of the kitchen toward the stairs, Jenna's gaze following me the entire way. Once I reach the base of the stairs, I find Carl standing there. He jumps when I come around the corner and stands up straight, one hand resting against the wall. His eyes are red, and the short fur on his face is all mussed up. Carl, you okay? I whisper it, but Cole immediately turns around and starts back up the stairs quietly. I follow him, wondering what it could be. Did he find something horrific? I wouldn't be surprised at all if that were the case. Once we reach the top of the stairs, Cole heads straight for the bedroom. Cole, what happened? Did you find something? At that moment, he turns around and hugs me. It's so enveloping and firm that the air is almost crushed out of me. I grunt and freeze for a moment, listening to Cole half into my chest. He's holding me like I'm something precious, like if he lets go, I'm going to be swept away somehow. I'm quiet for a few seconds, letting Cole get whatever this is out of his system. My arms are pinned down to my sides anyway, so it's not like I can respond physically. Hey, you okay? It's a dumb question because none of us are okay. Cole finally lets go. He turns away from me right away to sit on the bed and puts his face in his hands. My shirt's damp, and I look down to see 2 wet spots where his eyes have been. Tentatively, I sit down next to him at the foot of the bed and put my hand on his back. Hey, what happened? Cole sniffs loudly, wiping his eyes before putting his face back down in his hands. The ram sighs before finally straightening up to lean back on his hands, looking away from me. I just feel like shit's all. Can I help? I just had a moment, couldn't breathe. I kept rubbing his back, knowing that there really isn't anything I can do. Panic attack? How come? Lots of things. Cole shivers under my touch. And, I feel like everyone's mad at me. Why? No one's mad at you. Well, Jenna first of all, but I feel like everyone thinks this is my fault or something. What? Why would any of this be your fault? He was probably right about Jenna though. It's my house, my great whatever is, it's all just my shit. He sniffs. I don't know, just being alone gets me thinking about this stuff, about how I'm still fucking everything up. Dude, Jenna told us, fucked up things are happening everywhere, not just your house. I look around, which I'm assuming we're still in, maybe. I look back down at Cole. What brought all this up? We're all just working together to get ourselves out of here, yeah? Cole wipes his face and sniffles noisily before sitting up straight. I wasn't finding anything, and I started thinking about what would happen if we never do find anything. Not gonna happen. These things that are doing this are trying to tell us something, right? I don't know about that, man. They seem just as confused and angry as we are. Cole looks at me with his reddened eyes. It's like they're fighting too. Yeah, I guess they're having some issues. Cole reaches out, and I let him pull me to his side. I don't resist, and Cole chuckles. And it's just creepy, being up here alone. I fit against him almost perfectly, and I lay my head against his shoulder. Sorry. For what? I feel like I should be the strong one. What? And you've already seen me cry, like, twice? Hey, I don't believe in the strong one type of crap. I rest a hand on Cole's thigh, squeezing it. You're strong for the other person when they need it, and both people will need it eventually. Cole shifts against me and laughs nervously. You're talking about us like we're a thing? Aren't we a thing? Look at what we're doing right now. I don't know, man. It's hard to say when you're stuck in a haunted cabin. I feel him press his nose to my head, inhaling. This place is doing weird things to me. I squeeze his thigh again. Yeah, we can talk about it when we actually get out of here, when this stuff isn't fucking with our heads. So, we are a thing, but just in the ghost dimension? Sure, for now. I'm fine with that, for now. He breathes in deeply. Smell good. I snort. What do I smell like? Like the ocean. Dude, I'm a river otter. Besides, the river and the ocean smell bad. Cole nibbles into the side of my neck and I gasp, trying to pull away from him. He pulls me back easily with his superior strength before pushing me back onto the bed, teasing at my neck with his warm nose. Cole, stop. I hiss at him, trying not to burst out laughing. He mumbles against my neck. Hey, I'm just getting you back for earlier. I giggle helplessly behind a closed mouth, trying to keep quiet. I can't deny I like this, but Jenna's criticism just minutes earlier has me feeling hesitant. He starts to move lower, but at that moment, I hear a metal clang echo up the stairs. We both pause, and Cole's large ears perked under his beanie. I prop myself up on my elbows and look toward the doorway. I guess we should get back to searching. Yeah. With the moment clearly over, Cole sits back up on the side of the bed while I straighten out my shirt. You found something? Raven's voice drifts faintly up the stairs. Carl and I look at each other. Hey, maybe we won't need to. You want to go check? Yeah, wait here a sec. If it's nothing, I'll come back up and help you look around, okay? Okay. Cole scoots to the side so I can get off the bed. It takes me a few minutes to get down the stairs on my stiff ankle. Once I get into the kitchen, I'm confronted with an odd scene. Jenna's halfway into the wood-burning stove, reaching into the back, probably up to the metal tube. What are you doing? She found something. Raven's standing off to the side of the stove, bouncing on the balls of his feet. It's stuck. Jenna grunts as she adjusts herself, reaching in from a different angle. What is it? I hobble slowly across the room toward him. Need help? I realise he's talking to me, but I shake my head at the husky as I watch Jenna pull back and look into the opening of the stove. Goddamn thing shouldn't be that hard to get. Maybe I can help. But Jenna's already plunging her hand back in, head sticking just out the opening as she does. That seems to garner some success as she smirks. Ah, got it. Then her whole body jerks as she's seemingly yanked into the opening. Raven yelps as Jenna grabs onto the side of the stove to keep from getting pulled in. Oh gosh, Jenna? My voice rises in panic as I see her get yanked a second time. Raven automatically steps up next to her and grabs her arm. A third yank almost pulls him off his feet. I run over to help and wrap my arms around Jenna's waist to get a better grip. Another jolt, and I'm able to feel the power of whatever has a hold of Jenna myself. What's happening? I hear a thudding and rustling in the stove, like something's turning over angrily and repeatedly. The image of some kind of caged animal passes through my mind, and it sends chills up my spine. No, you fucking don't. I look up at the fox, and I notice that she doesn't look scared at all. Instead, she looks pissed off, her lips drawn back in a snarl, teeth bared viciously. She's talking to whatever's in the stove. I feel the muscles in her body tensed up and writhing under my hands as she twists to get free. I look around her body at Raven. His face, in contrast, is a mask of horror. Raven. His white eyes snap to mine. Get a grip round her body and we'll pull at the same time. He briefly lets go of Jenna's arm to lean down on her other side and wrap his arms around her waist. Okay, on three. 1, 2. Another yank, and suddenly Jenna's upper half is pulled into the stove. I lose my balance and fall back onto my butt, knocking my head against the metal stove. My eyes water and I let go with one hand, desperately rubbing at the back of my head while I loosely keep a grip on Jenna with the other. Chase! Raven's actually sliding into the fireplace himself at this point. I try to get my bearings and pull myself back up next to Jenna, but at that point something big and bulky comes barreling into the room. My vision clears just in time to see the big ram reaching for Jenna's body, practically pushing Raven aside. His horns clang loudly against the stove as he wraps his arms around Jenna's body and pulls back with all of his 270 pounds behind it. The fox emerges slowly, both of her arms still stuck in the stove, a determined look still on her face. Cole lets go for half a second, lunging forward to grab both of Jenna's elbows. He yanks back again, letting out a strained grunt. As her wrists emerge from the stove, I get a glance at black tendrils wrapping around them before those tendrils suddenly disappear. Kyle and Jenna are both launched back, Jenna getting a cushion landing on top of the ram as Cole lets out a loud wheeze. I hobble over to them, kneeling next to Cole as Jenna rolls off of him, eliciting another grunt. She sits up while Cole continues to lay there, his eyes wide. You guys okay? Cole waves a hand at me, rolling over onto his side as he gasps breathlessly. Jenna sits next to him, holding her hands up. I can already see some nasty swelling under the fur covering her wrists. I wince. Jenna, are you okay? I'm fine. She's not looking at her wrists, though. Instead, it's at an ash-smudged folded piece of paper in her hands. From the bits that aren't covered, I can see that the paper is yellowed and ancient-looking. Not at all like the clearly photocopied newspaper we'd seen earlier. Jenna looks down at it, standing up. I hear her groan next to me and turn back to Cole. Can't go a day without getting beat up. I rub his shoulder as I look down at him, smiling. Wow, that was kind of heroic. Cole grunts as he sits up. Do you think so? Yeah, all at the last second, too. Cole rubs his knees. Would have gotten here earlier if I hadn't tripped down the stairs like twice. He stares at the stove. What the hell was that? I look too, into the yawning black hole and shiver. I don't know, it was all black and smoky, like what we saw before. Think it'll come out of there? Raven suddenly steps in to lift up the stove door, twisting the handles to lock it. He yelps as he does it, jumping back as soon as the deed is done. I chuckle and then look back at Cole. Over his shoulder, Jenna walks into my field of vision. The paper is open in her hands, and she's holding it over the candle. All at once, I realise what she's trying to do. I choke on whatever I'm about to say next, and leap up awkwardly onto my injured ankle. Jenna! Luckily, Jenna's only about 5 feet away, and I practically fall onto her, pushing her away from the candle. We both fall against the bench under the window. Jenna's hand smacks against my nose, bringing tears to my eyes. I yelp as she pulls her fingers in, raking lines of fire down my nose with her claws. There's a pounding in my ears, and I distantly register that the drums have started up again. She twists out from under me and pulls away from the bench. When the fuck did she get this strong? I normally keep my grip on her wrists, and she spins, swinging me away from her. I lose my grip and stumble back, stepping wrong on my foot and rebending my ankle the exact same way I did last time. I yelp again, much more loudly this time, as I crumple to the ground. Cole swears and jumps over me at Jenna. Wait. I try to grab him by the hoof that's passing over me, but I miss miserably. As I sit up, I hear an ungodly bestial snarling, and I look up to see Cole wrestling and kicking the scratching Jenna to the ground. That is fucking it. He pins her there while she writhes under him, trying to scratch his face. Stop it, guys. Raven's still standing off to the side, his paws on his head, pulling at his ears. I crawl over to their writhing bodies, one eye wincing shut as each movement sends a lightning bolt through my leg. I grab at Jenna's hands, forcing them down above her head. Jenna, stop. Jenna suddenly kicks one of her legs up between Cole's legs as he kneels over her. Fuck. He crumples over on top of Jenna, lying on her legs as he tries to pin his thighs together. I look down into Jenna's face. Stop, what the hell are you doing? Jenna snarls up at me, but it's softer this time. Her struggles die down a little, and after holding my gaze for about 10 seconds, she looks away. I relax my grip a bit, gasping as I try to rearrange my foot so there's not so much pressure on my ankle. I don't know. I pull the piece of paper out from her limp fingers and push away from her, waiting to see if she'll come after me again. She doesn't, instead just laying there with her hands above her head, staring at the ceiling. So she tried to burn the letter, but was she possessed at that time? Raven, still with his fingers twisted around his ears, looks over at me. Yeah? Take Jenna upstairs. Take a nap or something. I think we need to be kept separate for now. As Raven hurries over to Jenna, Cole rolls off with a groan. Raven's easily able to coax Jenna up off the floor and they head upstairs, Jenna looking down at the floor all the while. I scoot over to Cole, holding my breath as each drag sends another spasm through my leg. He's on his side, hands between his legs as he squints at the wall. Once he notices me, he looks at my ankle. Fuck, you okay, man? No, I don't think so. I stepped in it wrong again. God damn it, what the fuck's their problem? It's okay, you're just gonna have to carry me again. Cole chuckles before letting out another softer groan. What did I say about getting beat up all the time? Are you okay? No, she kicked me in the fucking balls. I sit quietly for a moment, the pain in my ankle fading into a more cold electric sting rather than molten lava. The hell's going on? Why would she try to burn it? Cole's quiet for a moment, and then looks up at me again. You know, right? What? I could be wrong, since nothing makes sense here. What? You know this probably has something to do with James and John? I rub the back of my head again, feeling a bump swelling up already. Didn't we already figure out that's what's going on? I mean with Jenna, you know how James was sort of talking to me? Yeah, like he told you what to find. Yeah, but I think something's talking to Jenna too. John? Maybe. To make you guys fight? Weren't they lovers? Would there be a reason for John wanting this paper not to be read? Cole doesn't say anything, choosing to roll onto his back and lay his hands out to either side of him. I look down at the paper in my hand. Well, should I read this now, or wait for the others? Might as well do it now, she might try something again. Okay, I'm gonna read it out loud then. Cole waves a hand in the air, indicating that I should go ahead. I scoot back against the wall so that I can stretch my leg out and start to read. My dearest John, I've been hearing terrible things lately. They say that you've been accusing me of the most egregious monstrosities. I dare not believe them. In fact, I will not until I hear your words for myself. There must be some misunderstanding. Has one of my many political enemies pitted you against me? Are they using the missive native boys as a weapon against my campaign? I would not think that to be below them, but what concerns me most is you. Please visit me at my mansion. We must speak on this. I very much look forward to your company and believe that we can soon set this straight. Yours forever, James. I look up at Cole. He looks back at me. So, what do you think this means? Cole rubs inconspicuously at his crotch. I guess something went wrong between James and John. Oh yeah, but what? Sounds like he tried to frame him or something? I remember the newspaper clipping that had somehow gone up in flames. Hey, that newspaper article that burned up said something about a Besetter kid that went missing. So native kids were going missing and John used it to get at James somehow? Maybe. We still don't know if John was doing it anyway. James doesn't seem to know either. I wonder if we'd have been better off if Cole had a little bit of James in him right now. At least then we'd have a better idea of what's going on, maybe. Then again, the situation's so volatile with Jenna, I'm kind of glad that we don't have another ghost to deal with in Cole. I look at the Ram, who's in the middle of putting his waistband out to look at his junk. If James is still influencing Cole somehow, then he really isn't showing it. You okay? Cole abruptly lets go of the waistband, letting it snap back against his waist. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Are your balls okay? Cole smiles ruefully. They look fine, but they still kinda hurt. I think about making a joke about making them feel better, but it doesn't really feel appropriate right now. I'm actually more worried about Jenna, and not just because she can beat me up. Yeah. It seems that at this point, Jenna isn't really Jenna anymore. Should we talk to her about, I don't know, resisting it? Worked for me. I look in the direction of the door as a loud click emanates from it. Cole's long ears perk as he follows my gaze. We both stare at it for a few seconds. Do you think... maybe? Slowly, Cole gets to his feet, still a little bow-legged, and hobbles toward the door. Careful. I say, a little apprehensive that something might open it from the other side. Cole doesn't say anything, and slowly shuffles toward the door, pausing in front of it for a few seconds. Slowly, he reaches out and rests a hand on the handle and gives it a slight push. It shifts open a few inches. Cole looks back at me. I think we should get the others. It's open. We all stand around the door. Cole to my right, Raven to my left. Raven and I making sure there's maximum distance between Jenna and Cole. The door still shifted open a few inches, and the vertical black void it reveals is a little ominous. So, we just go through? I don't know, man. It's what we did last time, right? Yeah. I feel like the real question is if we really want to go through the door in the first place. Is it just going to lead to another terrible place where terrible things happen? I feel a void similar to the one I'm looking at open up in my chest. The thought of being trapped in the loop, going through door after door that leads to nothing but horror. Already this place is having an effect on Jenna that seems to be getting worse with each passing hour. How much longer can she keep it together? What did the letter say? I tense up. Anything she does now is putting me on edge, like I'm just waiting for her to lash out again. My hand drifts conspiratorially to my pocket where the folded up letter is. I glance to my right at Cole, but he's got his eyes on the door. A few things, just more history stuff. About what? I decide at that moment that I have to lie. We need to keep Jenna, or John, calm if we want to get through this. I got a feeling that Jenna, John, wouldn't want to hear about James revealing what I assume are secrets. I didn't read anything about John trying to sabotage James in my research, and maybe that's what James is trying to tell us. So I shrug my shoulders, moving my hand away from my pocket. Stuff about the mine, how there wasn't enough of it to sustain the town. I'm worried Jenna might challenge my lie for whatever reason. She doesn't say anything though, and Cole just keeps on staring straight ahead. Raven suddenly clasps his hands together, making Cole and I jump. So, should we open it? Raven reaches out. Wait. The husky pauses and looks back at me expectantly, his black ears tipped forward. Should we just do this? I mean, it's probably just going to lead to another place where we have to find another thing. Yeah. So, maybe we shouldn't keep going. I stumble over my words, trying to piece together my feelings and put them into sentences as I go. I just think that they're not really on our side, you know? I make an effort not to look at Jenna. So if they're not, why are we doing what they want us to do? I realise I'm shaking now, and I make an effort to make my hands still. That's when I feel something big and warm slide into my right hand, and I glance down to find Cole holding it. He gives me a quick look and a small smile before returning his attention back to the door. Well, what else should we do? Raven's tone isn't accusatory, but it's genuinely curious. I don't have a very good answer. Well, maybe we can find a way back somehow. Maybe we're still in Cole's house right now? Cole's house? That place seems like thousands of miles and years away at this point. Maybe we can, like, wake ourselves up somehow. Raven doesn't respond, and neither does anybody else. I realise how stupid I must sound. Sorry, I just feel like we're taking things too fast right now. Cole gives my hand another squeeze. Hey dude, we're all a little bit scared. We can talk about things. Cole looks past me and Raven and Jenna. No rush, I'm actually starting to feel the same way. I feel my cheeks burn at the way I'm holding everyone back because I'm scared. So, when I had that guy in my head, I sort of felt like he was taking us somewhere. Cole runs the hand not holding mine up to one of his horns, scratching at it. Like an endpoint, you know? Raven fidgets with one of his ears. Like a good endpoint? Yeah, I think so. That doesn't sound very convincing. You can stay here if you want, Otter. It takes me a second to realise she's talking to me. Is she really that gone? I just hope that if we reach the end of this, we can get her back somehow. Wow, Jenna, that's crazy. I cough to clear my throat. No, I'll go. I just wanted to think about it for a second. Have you thought about it then? Yeah. I look at Cole, but he only offers me a shrug and a comforting rub on the shoulder. Well, if that's all, then let's go. Jenna steps forward to grab the door handle, and I bite my tongue to keep from saying we should wait again. The door swings open to reveal blackness, just like the last time. Unlike the last time though, there's a spot of flickering light in the distance. The fire. Everything's quiet right now, no drum beat, but the darkness is unnatural. It's inky and thick like it's alive. I get the unnerving feeling that it's trying to eat the light from the fire. Maybe toward the fire? Jenna suddenly steps forward, and just like that, she's swallowed by the darkness. Jenna, wait! She ignores me. Cole gives his shoulders another shrug. Well, if she's being, persuaded, I guess she probably knows where she's going. I see her form pass in front of the firelight a few times, and she's gone. Okay, here we go. Despite his nervousness, Raven still sounds cheerful about stepping into oblivion. You ready, dude? I look over at Cole, and he's gazing back at me warmly, an encouraging smile on his face. Dude, I'm reaching my limits too. If we have to do another place like this... His ears droop, looking almost defeated. I nod, swallowing as quietly as I can. He pulls me into his side by my hand, and wraps my arm around his shoulder. Just stay close, Kay. Yeah. I step forward with him, and immediately we're immersed in blackness. Not only do things go dark visually, but the change is physical too. I don't know if it's all in my head, but I feel heavier, like the darkness is pushing down on my shoulders. It's colder too, to the point where I can feel the heat radiating off Cole's body when I brush up against him. Doing okay, man? Yeah, you? Yeah, I'm good. The going is slow, and not just because of my injured and probably broken ankle. The ground is uneven and rocky, like we're outside walking in the desert, which I realise is exactly what we're doing when we walk straight into what feels like a sagebrush. Cole thrashes around with the hand not holding onto me, as we're able to sort of stumble around it. Where the hell are we? I mutter as I stub my toe painfully on a rock. Outside? Yeah, but where outside? The desert, right? So do you think that we're still in Echo? Cole's quiet for a moment. Maybe, but not really. I mean, I don't think we can just walk to our houses. I wonder if maybe all the others, TJ, Leo and Flynn, are out here too, in the darkness. I want to call out, but I'm too nervous that it's going to attract something to us. I still remember the black figure dancing around the fire we're walking towards at this very moment. We're close enough now that I'm starting to be able to make out Carl in the darkness. I look back at the house to see how far we've gone. All that I can make out now are two rectangles of light. One for the door we came out of, and one for the kitchen window. In the latter, a dark figure stands framed by the faint light inside. I squint, not really sure of what I'm seeing. Then it moves, disappearing from the window. I stop walking, and Cole stops with me, looking back over his shoulder. What? Did one of the others go back? The black figure appears again, this time in the doorway of the house. I don't even have time to react to that before it steps forward and the door swings shut with a distant snap. Oppressive blackness takes its place. I grab onto Cole more tightly. The hell? My mind flashes back to the black thing I'd seen crawling out of the wardrobe. Come on. I nudge into Cole's side, trying to get him to hurry along while resisting the urge to try and run on my twisted ankle. I realise that it might come to that. Raven, Jenna. I call out into the darkness ahead of us, wanting to warn them. Over our ragged breathing, though, there's dead silence all around us, except for a drum beat. Either they can't hear us, or they can't respond. Cole's gripping onto me with both of his hands, practically hauling me off my feet as he pulls me along. And suddenly he stops. The fuck am I doing? He lets me go and crouches down in front of me. On my back. I'm there before he even finishes his sentence, and soon my face is bouncing off his hard skull as he starts sprinting toward the fire. Whether it's in my head or not, I swear I can hear a slithering sound behind me, like a snake sliding over dry leaves. I shiver, not wanting to look back, but I do anyway, trying to peer into the darkness. Of course I can't see anything, but I swear something flashes in front of the lone rectangle of light coming from the kitchen's cabin window. The rustling sound gets louder, and now I can't pretend that I'm imagining it. It casts a picture into my mind, that black shadow creature contorting and bending through the sagebrush that Cole was having so much trouble moving through. I hold onto one of his horns and lean towards his ear. Cole, it's getting closer, and then my stomach lurches as it feels like the floor just suddenly drops away. Next thing I know, my nose smacks hard into the back of Cole's head before I flip over, landing on my back in what feels like a sea of sharp rocks. I lay there for a second, dazed, staring at the black ocean above me, wondering if any of this is real. Am I still dreaming? Maybe I'll just wake up in my dorm, probably late to my legal and ethical issues in journalism class. Fuck, you okay? A muffled voice breaks through my haze of confusion and pain. Then I'm being yanked back up as Cole pulls me to my feet and clumsily shoves me back onto his back. Sorry, sorry. Fine. I can barely mumble through my numb mouth, which feels like it's full of pennies. I can see I'm making dark stains on the back of Cole's shirt. It feels like my face is caved in. I wonder if my nose is broken, but the fear of the pursuit is returning, and I quickly clutch at Cole's horns before he resumes his sprint. He finally comes to a stumbling halt in front of the massive bonfire which had looked so small from the cabin. We both stare up at it, the heat almost unbearable. The whispers behind me reach a crescendo and hissing just over my shoulder. What are we supposed to do? My voice raises in pitch as I look back behind us, the black shape now discernible in the firelight as it slithers around the rocks and sagebrush. It's like a person imitating a snake. I grip onto Cole as he turns to face it, then takes a step back, and then another. I don't know. I cling onto the ram, and I can feel him trembling underneath me. As the creature reaches the edge of the circle and firelight, Cole turns and starts running past the fire, and then my muscles seize up, my jaw clenches, my eyes roll back, and I feel myself falling backwards. The heat is almost unbearable, and my fur is damp from sweat, the skin underneath itching and uncomfortable. I can feel the sun on my face, the brightness turning the insides of my eyelids a dazzling red. I don't want to open them though, no. I just want to sleep. I almost do fall asleep, but a distant chorus of shouts and screams jolts me back awake. Now I do try to open my eyes, but I can't. It's like they're glued shut. I reach up to paw at them, but my arms won't lift. I must be dreaming, stuck in a paralysis. So I lay there, listening to the shouting and screaming, imagining an angry mob. After what seems like hours, the voices fade, and the red turns deeper, darker, blood-like, as if the sun is setting. And that's when I can finally drift away, back to sleep. A soft, choking moan brings me back to the surface. I'm still hot and sweaty, but the blazing sun isn't shining in my face anymore. I wiggle my fingers and shift my arms a bit, feeling them glide over fabric. At least I'm not paralysed anymore. Another moan, followed by a coughing sound, forces me to open my eyes, realising it's not part of a dream. I stare up at the ceiling, a textured beige ceiling. I'm back in the room where I'd slept how long ago? A day? A few days? It doesn't matter, because everything comes back to me at once. I feel like a lead weight has just dropped onto my chest, knocking the wind out of me. Fuck, is this not over? Now I'm starting to become convinced that this is never going to end. We're stuck in a loop, just like in my dreams. Another moan, slightly weaker, makes me sit up and look around the room. I'm alone as far as I can tell. Where are the others? Am I actually alone? I can't stop a soft whimper from coming from my mouth at the thought of being separated from the others. I was barely keeping it together with Cole, but without him... A loud cough through the wall behind me makes me jump again. I quickly slide off the bed and immediately cringe as my weight comes to rest on my swollen ankle. I sag against the bed for a moment, squinting my eyes shut as I wonder why my ankle is only getting stiffer. Maybe the fall Cole had taken made it even worse. The thought that these bones could be coming from Cole spurs me to straighten up and carefully hop toward the door. I have to stifle a short yelp with every bounce, and by the time I reach the door frame, I have to lean against it to catch my breath. My hands shake as I rub my eyes, the pain making me wonder if I'll ever be able to walk without a limp again. Another groan from the room next to me forces me to move again. In the hallway now, I'm able to make out the sounds a bit better and realise it has a feminine quality to it. Jenna? My voice comes out in a crackly squeak and I grunt to clear my throat. Jenna? I try again and wait, but I get no response in return. I force myself to step into the hallway, clinging to the wall for support. When I look down the hall to the door next to mine, I find something very familiar. A damaged wooden door, the middle bulging and splintered out as if something had hit it from the other side. Memories of the bad smell, a dark concrete room, and the noose. I hold tighter to the door frame, feeling my knees tremble, both from the pain and the fear. I look behind me, hoping to see Cole, maybe even Raven. A shuffling sound, followed by another cough and gurgle, draws my eyes back to the door. If it's Jenna, I have to act now. I steady myself against the wall as I hop slowly to the door, eyes watering with the pain now. Reaching out with a shaking hand, I start to slowly push at the door. I'm hoping that I might be able to crack it open just a little bit and not draw the attention of whatever is inside. The door only shifts a little, though, and seems to catch on the ground underneath it. It lets out a rough scratching sound that makes my fur raise up. Gritting my teeth, I forego the stealthy approach and give it a hard shove. This time it opens halfway, and I'm able to see into the room. Just like last time, there's no light coming from within the room itself. Instead, I have to rely on the dim yellow light coming from the hallway. It casts a widening band of light onto the concrete room as the door opens. The smell hits me like a wave, and I immediately gag, doubling over and pressing a hand to my nose before pulling up the neck of my shirt over my nose. Sure, I smell like BO from the last 2 days of running in fear, but it's better than the sweet smell of rotting meat that's enveloping me. Still shaking, I peer into the room while I lean against the door, but I'm only able to see the cracked concrete floor and walls. The grunting, choking sounds reach a peak now, and it's coming from beyond the band of light. It's an inky blackness that isn't all that different from what Kyle and I had run through. Hello? No response. It sounds like the grunting has stopped too. Shit, I've got to do something now. I think about just kicking the door open and jumping back, and then I remember that there's really nothing I can do with my feet right now. Taking a deep breath, I set both hands against the door. I steel myself for whatever I'm about to see, and then shove the door as hard as I can. The door swings in suddenly, scraping horribly against the floor the entire way. I yelp at the suddenness of it, the tension all exploding out of me at once as I jump back in fear. The band of light widens, sweeping over the entirety of the concrete room before the door finally lodges against the wall with a snapping sound. I almost lose my balance, arms swinging around cartoonishly as I try to hop on one foot. At the same time, I'm fearfully eyeing the opening, terrified of what I'm about to see. And what I do see is definitely terrifying. It's Jenna, in the middle of the room. She's hanging from the noose, her muzzle tilted up, so I'm able to clearly see the rope digging into the fur around her neck, painfully tight. Her toes are barely touching the floor, but it doesn't even look like she's trying to keep herself up. It looks like she's unconscious. Jenna! There's no response, and I find myself leaping in her direction. I forget about my ankle until all of my weight comes down on it twice in my mad dash, and I literally scream as it happens. There isn't any time to worry about it though, as I grab at Jenna, unsure of what to do. First I try to wrap my arms around her and lift her up, screaming again as I set my weight down on my foot. She doesn't respond to any of this and just hangs limp in my arms, which terrifies me even more. I reach up and pluck uselessly at the hangman's knot that I immediately know isn't going to budge no matter how much I put it. Cole, help! I feel myself starting to panic. Desperately, I look around, trying to find something, anything, that I might be able to use to cut at the rope. Jenna? I call up at her. I can't see her eyes from this angle, but I can't feel any movement in her. I try to press my ear against her chest, but I'm not sure if I'm doing it in the right spot. I tried to quiet my breathing and actually listen, but I still can't hear anything. Shit, Cole! I feel myself start to hyperventilate and try again to slow my breathing. If I pass out right now, I'm going to be less help than I already am. The world is starting to take on a surreal tint, and I think I'm actually dreaming. I think about running to the kitchen, but I don't want to let her go, especially since I feel like she's on the edge of dying right now. I reach up again and start trying to worm my fingers underneath the rope, but it's useless. It's way too tight. My eyes start to water as I realise I'm not helping her at all right now, aside from maybe taking a little pressure off her neck. But it might be too late anyway. Help. I'm suddenly hyper-aware of the screaming pain in my ankle, and I feel it giving out. So are my arms, burning with the strain of trying to hold Jenna up. I press my face against her chest, feeling myself start to give up on everything. And then suddenly the weight disappears, and I feel Jenna lift up several inches into the air. I look up and see Cole next to me, his big arms easily able to keep the fox off the ground. Not only that, but he's got a knife in one hand. I recognise it as the same knife Cole had used earlier in the hallway. Cole! I sob with relief as he sets to sawing at the rope, and soon all three of us come crashing to the ground as Jenna's cut free. We lay there in a heaving heap. The only sound is our gasps as we all try to catch our breaths, Jenna being the loudest. We made it. After a while, I sit up and look over at her. She's already sitting up herself, one hand to her neck, rubbing it. Are you okay? I reach out to her. I'm fine. She leans away a little from my hand, so I drop it. I thought you were going to die, Jenna. My voice is all shuddery, and I struggle to keep my emotions under control, to not have a panic attack. Whatever was controlling this whole scenario just tried to kill one of us. But then I guess that's already happened with that shadow creature thing, and even with what's happened to Raven. Jenna picks up the knife and brings it up to her neck, starting to saw away at the rope. I can help. She ignores me. I look over at Cole and see that he's flat on his back, arms spread out. Thank you, Cole. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't showed up. Cole raises a hand in acknowledgement. How the hell did you get a knife? Cole takes a few more gasps to catch his breath. I heard you guys and saw that, He gestures up at the hanging rope, the end of it frizzed out after the cut. I remember that knife I dropped when we were here before. Thank God. We lay there a while longer, Jenna busy hacking at the rope, Cole choosing to stare up at the ceiling. That almost peaceful silence is shattered as the husky stumbles into the doorframe, clutching onto it as he practically trips in. Whoa, hey guys! He grins, waving a hand at us as he rights himself. He looks around at us, taking in the scene. What happened? Jenna got hanged. Cole cut her down. There's really no way to sugarcoat it. Oh crap. He stares wide-eyed at Jenna. Well, guess it's surprising it wasn't me this time, huh? He lets out a high-pitched, nervous laugh. None of us even crack a smile. You're okay, though? Fine. Raven looks around the room. Well, looks like we're still here. Cole lets out a big shuddery breath. I don't know if I can do this anymore. What do you mean? We're stuck. I don't know what else we're supposed to do. Just keep looking around. We're finding stuff, right? And then what? Get sucked into another fucked up place where we'll be chased around and almost killed? He waves his hand in Jenna's direction. Look what just happened. It wants us dead. Cole. I trail off. What? I try to think of something to say, anything that might convince the ram to keep going. Just a while ago, minutes, hours, days, I was having the same doubts. But for some reason, Cole's sudden demeanour of defeat has me more motivated. Because if Cole gives up, what else is there to keep me going? There's a soft snap, and I look over to see that Jenna's pulled the rope from her throat. How's the neck? Jenna rubs it. Fine. Her voice has an air of complete disinterest despite the situation. She seems distracted too, her eyes flicking around at the ceiling, like she's expecting something to happen up there. I look up too, but all I see is concrete that's spiderwebbed with cracks. The rope I noticed is hanging from nothing. It just sort of grows out of the ceiling. Cole lets out another sigh next to me. Wish I had joined. I feel a small flicker of annoyance. And how's that going to help anything? Cole's quiet for a moment, clearly sensing the change in my mood. I immediately regret it, but I don't have the energy to take it back. Because it might make me feel a little better. By making you feel less, we need to be alert right now so we can figure it out. I bring my tone back down to normal, realising how unfair it would be if I got mad at Cole right now. I don't know if we can though. Cole's lips tug down into a frown, and it looks like he's trying to keep himself from crying. Before I can say anything to comfort him, Jenna speaks up. You will. Her voice is dark, firm, and completely unlike the way Jenna has ever spoken before. We both look at her, and she sits there, legs crossed, staring hard at us. Well, at me. Cole sits up. Jenna. Jenna doesn't look at him. Instead, she keeps looking at me. John. Now she does look at Cole, and it's out of instinct. Her eyes darted to him before looking back at me. I recognise it as that almost unstoppable urge to look the way you hear your name being called. Yeah, we suspected, and Jenna had been acting weird, but to think that she was that consumed by him. Cole glances at me meaningfully. We haven't asked her directly about it yet, so I guess now's the time. Jenna, are you feeling okay? I'm feeling fine. It's just that you haven't seemed like yourself for a while now. What do you mean? I look over at Cole as he shifts himself around on the floor. Listen, when we first got here, and even a little before then, I was feeling weird. Cole pauses as he seems to be searching for the right words. Sort of like someone else had become a part of me. Jenna narrows her eyes at Cole but doesn't say anything. There was another voice in my head, almost, and after a while, I knew it was that guy, James, in my head. Sounds like you're going crazy. Cole frowns. Maybe, but he was making me act different, feel different, and it was kind of fucked up to be honest. Weird. Yeah, weird, but it was easy to get him out of my head. Cole points at his horns, and now he's not there anymore. Jenna keeps that stern look on her face, frowning at Cole. What are you trying to say? Well, do you know a guy named John Begay? Not really. You keep mentioning him, but no one's told me who he is, aside from the fact that he was hanged. I remember the picture I'd taken of John back in Cole's crawl space. My hand feels my phone through my pocket as I almost reach in to put it out before remembering that it's dead. He was in some of the pictures with James Hendricks, the founder of the town. Jenna stares at me blankly. James was Cole's ancestor, right? We think that John was your ancestor too. He was Fox and had the same last name. So wasn't your family in Echo since the beginning? Yes. So it seems like you're probably related to him, right? Jenna stares hard at me, and then at Cole. Our family doesn't have records like yours, Cole. Cole frowns again. You say it like it's my fault? Maybe it is. Cole starts to sputter again, but I cut him before he can defend himself. See, Jenna doesn't talk like that. You wouldn't say something like that. Jenna doesn't say anything, keeping up her glare at Cole. Cole clears his throat nervously. What I'm trying to say is that maybe your ancestor's in your head like mine was? I don't think so. Cole lets out a frustrated sigh. I mean, something's different with you, dude. I can see it, and Chase sees it. I nod in confirmation. Raven suddenly cuts in. I mean, I don't know you that well, but if we're going by how a normal person acts, you're not acting very normal. We're not in a normal situation like that, are we? Cole shakes his head. I know you can resist it like I did, Jenna. You've always had a really strong mind, way stronger than mine. Cole swallows. So it shouldn't be a problem for you to stop it like I did. Jenna shrugs. Nothing's wrong with me, Cole. We all go quiet then. Besides, isn't this about clearing James's name or whatever? Why are we talking about John? Jenna stares at Cole, eyes moving across his face like she's searching for something. Cole stares hard right back at her. Unless you don't want to fight it. Jenna's expression remains emotionless. I mean, are you letting him? I don't know, Cole. Are you letting him control you? No. I already told you, I fought him out. How do you know it's true? Cole throws his hands up. Dude, why would I lie? Cole looks at me for some help. Yeah, Cole's way different than he was earlier. He's himself now. But how do you know that? I don't know what else to say to Jenna to convince her. Of course I can't be completely sure. The only person that can know is Cole. He says he isn't possessed anymore, and I trust him on that. Jenna, he isn't, I promise. You think James kept his promises? Cole and I share a look. Jenna, what do you mean by that? A strange look crosses Jenna's face, breaking out of the stoic detachment she's been portraying for the last however long it's been. It's confused, but it's also like she wants to say something, with her mouth open. Jenna? She seems to be frozen like that for a moment, before she seems to finally give up, shaking her head. I don't know. She glares at Cole. He blanches defensively. What? You keep acting like that this is my fault. Maybe it is. This time Raven cuts in before Cole can say anything. Is James stopping John from saying something? I watch Jenna closely, and that's when she finally looks away. I don't know. Jenna, are John and James upset with one another? Jenna shrugs, not looking at me. Cole lets out a sigh of frustration. Jenna, we need to figure this out. Listen, I don't know much about these guys, but it sounds like James and John are trying to tell us something. Raven looks back and forth between Carl and Jenna, and trying to stop the other one from telling us something. I rub my face with my hands, feeling frustrated, just wishing these two arseholes could tell us what it is they want to say. So they're trying to tell us something about the past, and they both don't want us to know what the other knows. Maybe that's what we're supposed to figure out. So it's not just as simple as clearing James's name. John has something to say too, and he sure as hell wants us to hear it. I close my eyes. We're stuck in the middle of a possessed ghost fight, with each of them trying to tell us their version of a story. The whole thing seems ridiculous, insane, but I really don't have anything else to go off of. Did you find anything about them in the crawl space? I try to think back. Like I've said, they both got convicted of sodomy, John was hanged, and James left to start his ice cream business. So why wasn't James hanged too? His influence in the town, probably? Well, I can see how that might cause problems between the two of them. I look over at Cole, who's still looking at Jenna. Jenna's picking at the rope in her lap. Hey, did James tell you anything while you were under his influence? Like, did he say anything? Cole rubs his chin. Not really, it's weird. I just sort of felt different. I said things I wouldn't normally say, but I guess I never really heard voices. There isn't much more to talk about at this point. Unless one of the spirits decides to do something else that can help us along somehow. So, what are we supposed to do next exactly? Raven points at the back of the room. There's a door there. We all look in the direction he's pointing. Sure enough, there is a door there. It's a concrete door, practically cut out of the wall. It's featureless aside from the rusty metal handle. What? Was that there before? I think I would have seen it the first time I looked in. Jenna stands up, taking a few steps toward the door. What, so we're just going to go through another door? Cole's laying back down on the floor on his back, staring up at the ceiling again. I can understand where he's coming from. Another door to possibly another nightmare. But his sudden reluctance is making it easier for me to find the strength to keep going. I reach out, resting a hand on his. Cole, this might be the last one. It might be the way out. Cole snorts. Seriously, dude, you think they're just going to let us go? We've accomplished nothing. We can leave you here if you'd prefer. I glare at Jenna, but she's not even looking at me, instead staring at the concrete door. Cole, we have to keep moving. If we go through another door, we're gonna go at least somewhere. Yeah, and besides, the bad stuff has only happened to me and Jenna, so you pros probably have nothing to worry about. We can't stay here forever. I gently stroke the back of Cole's furry hand. He laughs again. Maybe we could just keep putting grilled cheese sandwiches out of the cupboard. Cole props himself up on his elbows. Who knows, maybe I can get some weed out of there. Cole looks back, out into the hallway, apparently seriously considering that. Come on, man, we're all going in together. I reach out both my hands to him expectantly, since I can't get up on my own. Cole stares at them contemplatively for a moment, and then finally gets to his feet while pulling me up onto his back with a loud grunt. Okay, man, but if this freaky spooky ghost I mentioned goes on for another fucking door, I'm gonna pull a joint from a magic cupboard. Of course. Jenna's already standing in front of the door. Man, I don't want to pass out again. We just did that. I look back toward the hallway. You know, maybe we should check the rest. Jenna reaches forward and grabs the metal handle, and before any of us can say anything more, she yanks it open. A trail leads through the desert landscape, and cacti and boulders obscure my view on either side. The ground is rocky, and dust kicks up with each step I take. As I continue up the path, I can see the 3 peaks of the Casa Demonio mountains in front of me. I'm heading toward the town of Echo, just over these mountains. As I get closer, I notice that the trail branches off toward the side of the mountain. I follow the trail with my eyes into the hazy distance, almost disappearing into the heat waves. Still, I can make out a small dark hole. It's the mine. Some things should just be left alone. Dust swirls silently at the mouth of the mine, almost sparkling in the bright noon light. Every single person here. Something seems to pulse out of the entrance, sending an almost visible wave through the air. You will never escape. You will always come back. Red seeps from the hole, running up the side of the mountain in a wave, turning rock and dust the colour of blood. You'll always be running in circles. I start jogging up the trail, panting in the desert heat, not sure what I'm doing. The sky in front of me lights up the same ominous red colour in the direction of Echo. Somehow, I'm able to scale the side of the mountain in just seconds. I get to the peak and look over the edge. I see the town, but it's not the town I remember, at least not all of it. Lake Emma is in the distance to the left. The motel and supermarket are to the right. But the ruins by the lake aren't just old foundation remnants anymore. They're fully standing now, with their log walls and roofs. Several dozen more houses run up the side of the lake, standing in stark contrast to the more modern buildings further away toward Main Street. There are even a few buildings that I don't recognise. And there, just below me, is Cole's house. But it's different. The mansion's bigger, the walls are a lighter colour, and it looks older. Somehow I'm already there, like I just teleported straight down to stand on the road in front of Cole's house. I stare down at the slope toward the town, and there next to the road is a wooden platform built under a tree. There's a rope hanging from the tree, and a noose. I look back down at the town, at all of the different buildings. But no matter which structure I'm looking at, one thing's the same. They're all lit up blood red. I don't like this. This is all kinds of messed up. I watch as what looks like spinning blades come slowly into focus above me. I tense up, but only for a moment, as I realise what it is. It's the ceiling fan. Wait, a ceiling fan? Isn't that... I sit up quickly, only to immediately swoon as the room starts to spin around me. I grip onto whatever I'm sitting on, and it happens to be soft and smooth. I look down, and see that I'm top of a blue comforter. To my left, Jenna, Raven and Cole are stretched out next to me on a king-sized bed. To my right, sunshine streams in from sliding glass doors, outside of which is a massive deck. Past that porch are the mountains and the desert of Echo. We're back. Oh my god, we're back! Guys! I shake Cole next to me. He immediately swings a hand to slap at me, but I persist until he's forced to sit up, rubbing the sleep from his eyes. Jenna and Raven stir next to him. What's this? What happened? Guys, we're back. We're in your house. Cole finally snaps his eyes open at that. Raven sits up next to Cole, and I see him sway with the same dizziness that I had earlier. Where are we? It's my parents' room. Cole's voice is hushed, quiet, as if afraid if he speaks too loudly that it's all going to disappear. Relief like I've never known before flows through my body. Whether or not it was a dream or a hallucination, or we were drugged somehow, it doesn't matter. What matters now is that we're home. Well, in Echo at least. I look over at Jenna, hoping to see her back to her old familiar self, but I find her staring around suspiciously, that dark look still in her eyes. Maybe that'll take a longer while to wear off. I slowly push myself off the bed, the height of it making it more difficult for my feet to reach the ground. I touch down with my good foot, and I'm a bit surprised when my toes come in contact with the cold hardwood floor. I thought this room had carpet the last time I was here. I look back at Cole and see a confused look on his face, the fur on his brow crinkling up in the bright sunshine. Something's a little off, man. What? Something's wrong. I feel the beginnings of that sinking sensation in my chest again. Why? My parents' room isn't this big. I look around. I guess it looks a bit bigger than usual. The balcony seems to be the right size, though. And the floor. He points at my feet. Where's the carpet? Cole confirms my suspicions. The dread continues to grow in my stomach. Maybe they took the carpet out while we were gone? No one responds to that ridiculous idea. Jenna looks at the wall behind the bed and reaches out a hand to touch it tentatively. Cole lets out a loud, almost maniacal laugh. It's like I'm in a weird dream of my house or something. Cole pushes himself off the bed, his hooves clopping loudly, unnervingly against the hardwood floor that shouldn't exist. Fuck. Yeah, fuck. I can see the same emotions I feel in my chest playing out in Cole's eyes right now. He reaches out to give me support. Well, Maybe there are other people here. Even Raven's cheerful tone is forced and strained. I guess I was expecting that we'd end up in another dream world or whatever, but the fact that I thought for a moment that we were back in the real world made all of this the more soul-crushing. It feels like those fucking ghosts are toying with us at this point. I take a deep breath, willing myself not to lose it. Not yet, at least. Chase, I'm gonna move to the deck. I get a better grip onto Cole's side as he starts to move toward the glass doors, his hooves clopping while I hop along. He stares out, slowly reaching up with a hand to tug at the handle. To my surprise, it opens. I guess I thought that it would be the same as the last place we were in, that we'd be locked in or something. I follow Cole as he steps out onto the balcony, taking slow, careful steps, as if afraid that the deck might give out. The air's hot and heavy, almost humid, which isn't normal for Echo at all. Sure, it would get really hot, but it's a desert. Humidity is near non-existent. We reach the railing and stare out at the town below the foothills that Cole's mansion sits on. I take in a soft breath. Just like in the dream I had, the ruins of Echo aren't ruins anymore. Dozens of old-fashioned wooden buildings dot the edge of the lake. A little ways away, I see the familiar buildings of the motel and the supermarket, along with the small neighbourhood of my childhood. And along the main street, I see a few buildings that I don't recognise. Not quite as old-fashioned as the buildings along the lake, but still pretty old-looking. The hell? Cole almost whines out the words as I see him grip tightly to the railing. I move closer to his side, putting an arm around his shoulders. Come on, man. We're gonna figure this out. This is just... I struggle to figure out what this just is, but I come up short. Listen, I saw this in the dream, and I think they're trying to tell me something. What dream? A dream I had before I woke up? I have them almost every time we pass out. Why are you the only one having these dreams? I jump as Jenna speaks right behind me. I turn around, finding her eyeing me suspiciously. I don't know. None of you had dreams? I did. Raven pops his head from around the glass doors, still with that bizarrely resilient grin on his face. But it was about that black shadow creature thing chasing me through the kitchen, so I guess it's not really useful. What did you see in your dream, Chase? Well, this. I waved my hand at the alternate reality town. But then the mine too, like red stuff spread out of it, over the town, and I saw a noose. I instinctively look over the edge of the balcony, down toward where I remember seeing the tree. Cole looks too. What is it? Well, I saw a tree with a noose on it. Cole looks slowly back up at me. Down there? I think so. The look of utter defeat in Cole's face has me hesitating to confirm it. The fuck? I take a deep breath, trying to put what I feel into words. That dream, the way it zeroed in on the tree, it felt meaningful. I think we need to go to it. Jesus, why? Cole buries his face in his hands as he leans against the railing, shaking his head slowly from side to side. I don't know, but I don't know where else to start. This place is massive. So what, they put another letter there for us to find for some reason? Maybe. Guys? Cole keeps his head in his hands as I turn around. Raven's still standing by the glass door, but he's looking back into the room. Jenna left. What? Sure enough, Jenna's nowhere to be seen. Where'd she go? Raven shrugs. Downstairs, I guess. Was she going to the tree? I start to move back into the house, then remember my destroyed ankle. I look back and see that Cole is still slumped against the railings. Cole. He doesn't look up. Cole, we need to keep moving. Finally, the ram pulls his head out of his arms and turns to help me. He gets me into our familiar position with me, clinging to his neck while I hop along. I'm relieved he's actually moving, but I don't like the dull look in his eyes one bit. Raven, Kyle and I head down the hall toward the stairs. Cole's right, it's like a dream of Cole's house. Cole mentions that there are a few extra doors, all of which lead into a bare hardwood floor room. The crown level of the house, though, looks mostly normal. As we make our way through Cole's sort of home, I realise something. You guys hear the trains when we were on the deck? Maybe. Why? I thought I did. Just kind of weird. Like, what are those trains doing in a world that isn't really real? Maybe it is real. Maybe. I'm not convinced. As we pass through the living room, I can see that it's set up like it always is, and the kitchen looks to be in order as well. As we step outside, I notice that the mansion looks the same for the most part. Not the massive old look it had in my dream. I hop along down the curving driveway from Cole's house like I remember in my dream. How Jenna will be able to find the tree on her own is beyond me. The only indication I'd given her as to where it was a glance over the railing of the deck. Man, it's so fucking close to being real, this place. Yeah. I don't have much else to add, but he's right. It feels so close to being home, but none of it's home. I slow my pace as I turn right at the end of Cole's driveway, practically tugging the ram along. We move the short distance down the road and move to the edge of the left side of the road. I look down over the side onto the rocky sagebrush covered slope. And there's Jenna. Somehow, she immediately found it on her own. That old and rickety wooden platform sits under the tree. This tree and platform definitely aren't in the real Echo. There were a few scant mentions of a hanging tree in my research. If it was still standing, I'd have gone to get some film for my project. That project seems like something I was working on years ago at this point. I carefully start to climb down the slope, clinging to Cole. I'm about to call out to Jenna when I stop cold. As we move to the side, the thick trunk of the tree shifted in my field of view and revealed the noose. Unlike my dream, the noose isn't empty. Hanging from the noose is a body. From where I'm standing, I can't see exactly what it is. Its back's to us, and all I can make out is a head, hands and feet, and some old-fashioned clothes, overalls and a cotton shirt of some kind. The clothes look worn and old, like they've been sitting out in the elements for years. I stop moving, instead staring at the body. Cole freezes too, and I can feel his ragged breathing in my ear. Jesus, Cole gasps. I stare for what feels like an entire minute before I find my voice. Jenna? She's also facing the body so I can't see her face, but she's holding up a hand toward me to quiet me before slowly pacing around the platform. It looks like she's moving toward the front, so I steel myself and slowly follow her. I don't want to look at the body as I move, but I can't tear my eyes away. It's old. Very old. The fur's mostly gone, the skin underneath black and leathery. The face is drooping and sunken, the eyelids closed. It's been out in the sun for a very long time. I don't know much about corpses, so I don't know how long. I just know it's been a very long time. From what I can tell, it's a canine of some kind. A fox? John? For some reason, I look toward Jenna to see if she will let us know who it is. She doesn't, instead staring at the body. Cole tightens his grip around my shoulders. I'm not sure if it's for support against the uneven ground, or the horror in front of us. Raven's chosen not to follow. Instead, he stands back behind the platform, looking away from the body. I swallow hard, trying to keep my nerves under control, trying to look at the situation like it's a simple task. Do you guys see anything? A note or something? I try to search the platform and avoid looking up at the body. There's something in its mouth. Cole points up at the corpse with a shaking finger. He's right. There's a flash of white in the mouth of the corpse, just barely sticking out from what looks like gnarled teeth. A piece of paper, maybe? I'm surprised at how successful I am at keeping my voice calm. I sort of feel a little numb to all of this now, but I think we both realise at the same time what this means. That we're going to have to actually get the piece of paper. Fuck man, why do we have to do this? Why don't they just tell us what they want us to know? I cling to Cole as much as he's clinging to me, trying to keep him calm. Listen, I'll get it. It's just a body. No, it's not. Nothing's just as it is in this fucked up place. Jenna suddenly turns on the two of us, causing both of us to flinch back from her. Chase, you need to get it. What? Why? You can't even fucking walk. I can crawl. He had the dream. They want him to be the one to get it. He volunteered anyway. Doesn't make sense. It makes perfect sense. Why the hell don't you get it? Cole's adjusted himself so that he's standing halfway in front of me protectively. Because it's what they want. It's bullshit. If you know something, Jenna, then why don't you fucking tell us? Cole's snarling at Jenna now, which is all the more impressive because rams can't snarl. We can't be doing this now. Here we are in this fucked up dimension in front of a mummified corpse arguing. I put my hand against Cole's chest. Listen, I'll get it. It's what they want, and this will help us move forward. I try not to think about actually going up the wooden steps to stand in front of the corpse, but I don't really have any other option right now. Carl doesn't loosen his hold on me. Fuck no. Jenna, you get it, since you seem to know what the fuck's going on. Carl squeezes me tighter against his chest as he leans in to glare at Jenna. Jenna glares right back, and I can see her lips trembling as she appears to be holding back her own snarl. Stop it, Carl, let go. I'm going to get the paper. No, Chase. Carl, nothing bad has happened when it comes to getting these stupid pieces of paper. I'll be fine. Carl looks down at me, his face etched with stubborn resoluteness. It's at least a nice change from the almost dead look that I'd seen earlier. He stares at me hard for a good long while, to the point where I'm almost blush, until finally, fine, but I'm coming with. I don't think... Shut up, Jenna. Each word seems to have to work hard to get itself out of Carl's muzzle. It's okay, let's, go. I let Carl hold my hand as we move toward the platform over uneven ground. I notice Raven standing off to the side, still facing away from us. I'll have to check on him later. The wood creaks softly under our feet as we make our way up the steps. I focus on my hopping foot, not wanting to look at the body. Once we reach the top though, I realise that I'm going to have to. Leaning heavily against Carl for support, I look up. The corpse's eyes are open now. Two yellow, piercing eyes that are sunk deep in the skull stare back at me. You are disgusting. I'm disgusting. You're abhorrent, despicable, horrible. For telling truths? For telling your own truth. You don't know my story, my truth. Your truth is a delusion. You cruel, filthy son of a bitch. What do you want from me? I want justice. You and your people don't know the meaning of the word. Just let it rest. Let me rest. And you'd leave me restless? Murderer. You may not have killed me physically, but you murdered my life, you fucking... The otter hears us. So, if he hears this, then it wants him to. Why does it? You think I know. Why does it create these places? Let us do small things, then take it away. It's a game. My life, my reputation is a game to it. Ah, a game. Go on, why don't you tell him your truth? The otter works with you. I wouldn't help him even if I could. But you can't, can you? You're but smoke. Good thing too, you and your fucking lies. I'll tell him this. Otter, you're stuck here because you cannot see the truth, and until you do, how would he know the truth if you only lie? You're disgusting. I'm 9 or 10, and I'm sitting under the tree in the forest. I like the feeling you get when you finish crying. The stuffed up nose and throbbing in my head, along with the feeling of having just run 10 miles. Like I've just finished something really hard, and now it's over. And then... a creak in the branches above me. I look up and see the fox hanging from a rope. His dead eyes are on me. Why don't you get your ass up here and dig it out yourself then? He's awake. Chase? A big hand is cradled below my head as I stare at the horns waving around above my eyes. Between them hangs the fox. Hey, you okay? What happened? I don't know, there were eyes. I stare harder at the fox, but the eyes are closed. Yeah, me too. But you sort of just fell back. Sorry, I dropped you, and I think you hit your head. That would explain the headache. My head throbs with each heartbeat. Why didn't you grab the letter, Chase? Are you kidding me? I flinch at Carl's loud voice, and the spit flecks my face. Okay, he just passed out and that thing had something to do with it. Like I said, dig it out of the fucking mouth if you want to. Dig out what? I crane my head painfully to look at Jenna. She stands in the exact same spot, staring stoically. Raven has moved to stand next to her, but now his eyes are wide, staring at the fox. I turn my head back around toward the hanging fox, and that's when I see that the letter's gone. Where did it go? I push myself up, cringing, as I once again forget about my ankle. Carl hurriedly fusses around me, helping me stand. I keep my eyes on the fox the entire time, but I don't see any signs of life. What happened? You fell. No, the fox. What happened to the letter? He ate it? What? How? It just kind of gobbled it up? Carl's free hand gestures at his mouth. God. I lean my forehead against the ram's cheek as I close my eyes. So are we not supposed to read it? Raven's voice is small and quiet, like his usual self even during the time we've spent here. No one says anything for a while. I clear my throat. I think I heard John and James while I was out. What? What did they say? I think John and James, they're influencing some of this, but there's something else controlling all of it. How? I don't know, but it's stopping them from telling us what they want to say, like this is a game for it. I feel Cole shake his head against my head. So what are we supposed to do then? Just figure out the game, I guess? They said something about having to see the truth, but I'm not exactly sure what that is. But the fox just ate the clue. That might have been one of them. James or John? I don't know. Do we just find the other one then? I don't say anything, because that's when I see the hint of white sticking out from the fox's pocket. I point. What's that? What? That, sticking out of the chest pocket? Oh. Cole moves a little closer, putting me along tentatively. Raven calls anxiously from behind us. What are you guys doing? Cole's voice gets tighter, more nervous, as he reaches out with a shaky hand. I keep my eyes focused on the pocket, not wanting to look into the eyes if they open again. Cole touches the chest, yanking back his hand once before slowly going in again. His face turns toward mine, cringing, as he tries to look and not look at the same time. He fumbles at the pocket for a moment, the fox swaying just slightly from the ram's poking fingers. Finally, after what seems like several eternities, Cole manages to get a grip on the note. Once he does, he yanks his hand back, almost hitting the fox's muzzle as he slides the letter free from the pocket. Okay, let's go. Cole gently but quickly guides me down the stairs. Jenna eyes what's in Cole's hand suspiciously. What's that? Another letter or something. Where did you get that? The fox ate it earlier. I saw it sticking out of the pocket. I guess there was another one. Jenna goes quiet and her expression darkens. I'm about to ask her what's wrong, but Cole's already unfolding the paper, swinging the hand holding it to try and make it unfold. I help him out with my own free hand and hold the letter between us. I notice that the bottom of the paper has a rough tear, like someone has torn it in half. Jenna and Raven moving closer opposite us. Please let this be the one that gets us back. It doesn't look like a letter. In fact, it looks like a newspaper clipping. Well, a photocopied one anyway. Cole, I think this came from your mum's collection of artifacts. I remember some pages were ripped out of the scrapbooks. Really? Yeah, I thought it was you taking them. Oh, no. I wonder how long ago this nightmare actually started. It seems that it had been setting itself up days before we fell into this place. Well, I guess I'll give it a read. Hopefully this is the one. I start with the big bold title. Echo researcher uncovers town's serial killer past. Most might know Trisha Hendricks as the CEO of Head's Ice Cream, but Echo locals will know her to be an avid history buff as well. I just love how it connects all of us, how it shows that everything has happened for a reason. But even she didn't realise what her research would uncover. According to Hendricks, the town's founder, James, had an affair with another man, and both may have been hiding a dark secret. You never know what you'll find out, but to think that James had a homosexual relationship and with an alleged serial killer, well, it really is something. According to Hendricks' research, James may have been in a romantic relationship with a native fox by the name of John Begay. Town records indicate that Begay was accused of committing multiple child murders. Hendricks says the crimes were sexual in nature. I reach the bottom of the page where the rough tear begins. Clearly there's more to the article, but Jenna. I look up just in time to see a flash of steel before Cole jumps back, putting me along with him. The knife comes within inches of Cole's face before piercing into the newspaper clipping we were holding with a smack. The hell? Jenna! I'm about to ask what she's doing because I think she's attacking the newspaper for some reason. But her intentions become clear as she moves towards us with the knife I set on Cole. Jenna, stop. Raven bounces up and down, his hands pulling at his ears. Cole moves back as fast as he can while I limp along. Jenna, what are you doing? Jenna lunges at us, the knife arcing down from above again. This time she's too close and Cole pushes me to the side as he jumps back. I go down on my butt on the rocky ground. Putrid lying beast, where's my letter? I don't know, what did I do? Cole stuttering, stumbling, eyes wide with terror. I don't even know if he's going to defend himself when Jenna gets to him. With a muffled scream, I push myself onto my feet and hobble after them, each step sending electric lances of pain to the back of my brain. I don't have time to dwell on it though, because that's when Jenna reaches Cole. She grabs one of his horns and yanks him close, Cole swinging his fists wildly in her direction. It's a valiant effort, but Cole's not a fighter, and aside from letting out a few grunts, Jenna isn't affected. She raises the knife just as I reach them. No, stop. Grab or push. So what do? Do I grab Jenna or do I push her? If I grab her, yeah, maybe she'll stop, or if I push. Who knows? Who knows? Grab! I need to pull her away from Cole. I reach out, grabbing the fox by the back of her shirt and yanking as hard as I can. Jenna falls back and unexpectedly turns into me as she does. A deep, penetrating bolt of pain goes into my chest. I gasp like I've just jumped into a pool of ice-cold water. I can't help it. It's like a reflex. And with the gasp comes a violent change of light and scenery, and suddenly I'm in darkness. Not complete darkness though, because the moon shines down on us. The pain in my chest gives a few deep throbs before Jenna yanks the knife out of my chest. Chase! Cole screams my name as I go to my knees, both hands pressed into my chest. Chase! I hear Cole stumbling around as Jenna turns back around toward the ram. I look up to Cole, trying to ask for help, tasting blood in my mouth. But Cole isn't looking at me. He's stumbling around, looking everywhere except for where I am, while at the same time trying to dodge Jenna. Where is he? I raise a hand, trying to show him. Maybe it's too dark? At that moment, Raven, almost invisible in the darkness, tackles Jenna to the ground. Stop it! Stop it! This is crazy! Please just stop! He pins her easily. Chase! I force myself to stand, panicking now. The throbbing in my chest is different. Odd. Something deep inside me has been hit. Help me. I stumble toward Cole, but he moves further away from me. Chase! He's crying now, but he can't see me. I look behind me, seeing a few lights of Echo, all of the normal buildings under the moonlight. I'm back, but I'm dying, and Cole can't see me. I need to get help. I stumble toward the hill, shakily trying to climb up the incline of rocks and dirt. My shirt is soaked and it clings to my body like a second skin. Each pulse of my heart sends a wave of warmth over my chest and stomach. If I can just get to Cole's house, I can call someone. I get to the top of the slope, onto the actual road. There's a pop in the distance. A gunshot. Did you stab him? Raven, there's blood on the knife. My God. Cole screams, make me want to turn back around, but if I can only get to the house, get a phone, call for help for me and my friends. But everything's getting hazy, and my legs are like lead. I can't even feel my ankle anymore. My ears seem to clog up, and my breathing slows down. All I can hear is my heartbeat in my ears and my breathing, and both are getting weaker. Darkness creeps in on the edge of my vision. Something lays on the road in front of me, and my legs gives out as I pass it. Slumped on my knees, I look at it and see a weasel. Duke? I can't tell because most of his face is missing, and there's a little plastic thing stuck in the bloody mess. I don't really care though. Everything feels peaceful for once. Quiet and peaceful. I stare down at my chest, watching as blood pumps out with each heartbeat, staining all the way down to my knees now. The tunnel gets tighter. I sway. I fall. Into nothing. And that is a bad ending! Ah! Alright, so that was the ending of one of Cole's routes. But I think there is another ending, so I guess we're going to have to try that in the next episode. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.